Right, let's take a listen to number 5. I prefer sugar and cream.
I prefer sugar and cream. I prefer sugar and cream.
All right, so again, just little details here going on between our two transcriptions, the candidate and what I think is happening. Number one, there's a difference in the word prefer. I like the way this person transcribed this without vowels because there really aren't vowels there unless you consider that sort of like rhoticized schwa or reversed epsilon. But I like the
I prefer sugar and cream.
syllabic R notation there.
Prefer sugar.
It's right in here.
Prefer.
And if we just listen to the vowels there, we can hear them as the R's, ers, and this one.
Bird.
The one trick here, there's a couple little things. So number one, if they are just ers, transcribe them as syllabic with this little vertical strike underneath them.
Preferred.
I transcribe that second one as long because that one is definitely stressed. You can see it
Bird.
about 185 milliseconds long. This one is a lot shorter, 65 milliseconds. This one just stands out.
Bird.
He's really emphasizing it. It's stressed, it's accented too, and it's long.
I prefer sugar and cream.
I prefer sugar and cream. If the stress is on the first syllable, it would be more like prefer, as opposed to prefer. Yeah, but again, these are subtle distinctions. Also, so good job with the and sugar. That's syllabic or transcribed as syllabic there, and it is. We can listen to that one.
Sugar.
So I think this just might be a bit of confusion with the symbols, but normally you'd expect an upsilon there. Yeah, it's, to be honest, now that I'm listening to it closely, that's probably rhoticized a little bit itself because he's got an right before it. Prefer sugar and cream, and he just kind of keeps his tongue tip curled back a bit all the way through that It's not really sugar, it's sugar. Yeah, but it's an upsilon there rather than so this would be like sugar, and this is sugar and sugar. And this is probably rhoticized in this particular utterance, which is interesting. Kind of sounds like that vowel that you get in French or German, a low mid front rounded vowel. What's going on with the last bit? Interestingly enough, he kind of goes straight from the sugar to the n of the and. That's kind of a syllabic N there as well. There's not really an in front of it, even though you'd probably expect it to be. Expect there to be. Like, if you think maybe there's like an here, maybe a little bit. Maybe it's like as well too. I transcribed it as a syllabic N. We'll listen to this whole little sequence: sugar and. Yeah, so that's a bit ambiguous. I don't want to make a big deal out of that either. The one thing I do kind of get picky about, though, I've seen this on numerous transcription exercises before, is when people sort of transcribe this with a vowel before the N and then also put the syllabic marker under the N. That's not right. This is okay as it is. Yeah, so good job of listening closely there. And then lastly, the cream. The sort of main difference here, well, there's a few little minor differences, but this is aspirated. If you just kind of pick this apart in prot and listen to it bit by bit, this is the k part.
Cream.
Yeah, and like that's kind of the voiceless R right after it. It's just hard to hear as an R because you hear mostly the H bit of the aspiration. Ream. And then there's this vowel at the tail end. His intensity goes down at the end of the utterance. His pitch goes down at the end of the utterance, and everything gets kind of long. That's a typical pattern you see at the end of utterances in English. So because it's sort of less intense overall, it might be harder to hear any nasalization there. I transcribed the length, which this person did as well, which is great, partially because that's the end of the utterance. If you listen to just that vowel, I think you can hear the nasalization better. It's a nasalized vowel, and that's the only other difference there. But again, this is tricky to do, but good job, transcriber number 5. We got one more to go. It's longer, but this person also did a good job. Can't wait to get there, and I'll see you in a second.